Hello, everybody. Happy Friday, Hello, hello. Thanks for joining in. I have a bunch of stuff today. Super excited. A couple projects to show you guys. I've got a huge box of yarn. I don't know if you guys can see that over there. Look, Michael's. So I'm going to open up this big old box of yarn right here that I'm super excited about. Hi. Hey, I see you, Stevie. Hello, Sindra and Jamie. Hey, guys. Princess Peach and Chloe, hello. Got a bunch of people. Man, so I can see out my window right here, and 2 doors down, I swear to God, every single day they've had people from like a heating and air company come over there for like weeks. So I don't know what's up with their heating and air, or maybe like it's their friend and they just drive a heating and air van. I don't know, but it seems really strange. Nancy says pretty nails. So I do want to share this with you guys because, okay, funny story. If any of you guys can guess how many years it's been since I got a manicure, I would love to know if you have a guess. Knowing that I'm super low maintenance, like no makeup on right now, it's just, I don't do that. 2022 version of the milkman, said Stevie. Exactly. See, it's just weird. It's just weird. Like, they're over there all the time. So, like, maybe they own the truck and it's like their friend. But if they've had that much work done on their AC, like, it's time to swap it out and get a new one. So these are, what is it? Color Street nail polish. Thanks to Mickey of Otterly Yarn, who sells these Color Street nails and sent me a sample. They're super fun. If she is on here now, thank you so much. It was really fun. You can see I did a different, I actually put another coat. She sent me 2 that were different than these. We have one person who guessed 7. That is not correct, but you're around about that year range. But yeah, so I don't paint my nails because every time I paint my nails, I screw them up before they even are dry. I don't have the patience to sit around and wait on nail polish to dry, so I don't do it. I don't go get them done because of money, because I don't want to spend the money on that. I would rather spend money on other things than getting my nails done. But for some people, that's a treat and they love it. I mean, and Mickey's here. Mickey, I'm talking about these wonderful nails that you sent me. Thank you so much. It is like a sticker, but it says that it's 100% nail polish. So I'm not really sure how they do that. But you take it off and you push it on there like a sticker and then it like comes off. I am glad they send you more than 10 because I screwed up at least 4 of them trying to get them on my fingernails. But I also sanded 27 hooks with these puppies. So, and they lasted. I was really worried that I was going to like sandpaper off some of these. I was careful, but I was able to sand 24 hooks, 27 hooks, however many, for our St. Patrick's Day mystery boxes. So we're putting the second coat of resin on those in the next couple of days. Super excited. But yeah, they've lasted a really long time. I mean, I say a really long time, like I put them on yesterday, but by now, if I'd have painted them, it would have come off. Yeah, so they're kind of stretchy, but I broke one trying to stretch it onto my nails. So I'm telling you, it's definitely a little bit of a learning curve. But I think they're pretty cool. Like, I think I would actually use these. So I'm excited to try it. I did get some feedback. Some people said that the sparkly ones last longer, which I like sparkly nails, so I would probably get the sparkly ones anyway. But it seems like pretty thick nail polish. So yeah, that was exciting, really excited. I'll show you guys one more time. There's super pink. And Mickey, if you remember what color you sent me, you can share that in the comments. Because it was like a really sparkly holographic type of pink. And then these were a little different, which I'm not going to be able to show that, but it's very, very like almost confetti in the ones that are on this hand. And I layered it. So I put the pink ones on and then I layered this other one on top of the pink. So that was pretty cool. Never used those. Super exciting. I'm using a lot of new stuff. Like I got that little octo curl thing for my hair, which I did not use. Obviously, it's back to being super straight. But tried the octo curl out to curl my hair without heat, which was awesome. I've used it 3 or 4 times since I got it. And then now I tried the nails. So like trying all this cool new stuff. So that's exciting. Okay. And actually that reminds me, I need to use, if you guys have not tried this, it's actually pretty great. This is Bee Queen Collection Boo Balm. My hands have been super itchy lately. Like they're just dry. So it gets really itchy right here. Like I scratch right here. So I've been using this religiously every day because, and it's not even like super cold. I think it's just like the weather's changing a lot and it's really dry outside here. There's not a lot of humidity right now. So I've been getting dry and itchy, which is no fun. But this, we included some of this in our Christmas mystery boxes. We included some of this balm because it's unscented, which was important for me because I know everybody has different skin concerns. But it's mild and unscented and all natural. And so that's pretty cool. Okay, so I wanted to share some things with you guys today. I don't have anything super specific to talk about except to share the projects that I'm working on. I do want to give you guys an update. The Power Puff jacket the testing is going great. I'm really excited. I've started to see photos of everybody's jackets rolling in. And it's so funny because, what did someone call it? Some people say it's like being hugged by a cloud because they're so fluffy. I had someone call it human amigurumi doll. It's what it makes you look like because it is such a puffy jacket. And I forget, someone else said something that I thought was really clever and now I can't remember what it was. If I remember, I'll tell you. But super fun, super excited about that pattern when it finally releases. And thank goodness the testers are trying a whole bunch of different yarn. So I'll be able to give some really good recommendations for you for the yarn to use. And actually, the box of yarn that I'm going to open today on the live has a new yarn that I'm going to try for a third Power Puff jacket. Because I'm working on a second Power Puff jacket right now. The pink, okay, so the nails, Mickey just said the pink is Check Me Out. And that's check as in CZECH. Check me out. So yeah, if you like the bright, sparkly, holographic pink, and there's like, it's really holographic. So you can see like blues and greens and reds and golds when you shimmer it. So, okay. So let me go ahead and show you guys, talking about the Power Puff jacket. I had shared a while back about using this yarn by Lion Brand. My goal for 2022 is to start trying different types of super bulky and jumbo yarn and kind of giving you guys feedback on what I think about it, and specifically using it for wearables. So creating these crazy chunky wearable cardigans and items like that. Because, you know, you could try any of this and make a scarf or, you know, I've had people say, and I do agree, this would make really good like pillow covers. So like for your couch, it's actually pretty soft and it's got some stretch to it and supposedly you can wash it. So I think that might be nice, but I want to really test them and try to turn them into something they're not meant for. Because they don't create this to make clothing, you know. So that's what I'm working on right now, and I'll show you guys and I think I'm gonna have enough to finish a small version of my Power Puff jacket. Now the gauge was off for this. The Power Puff is kind of difficult to find yarn to match the gauge unless you use exactly what I use, which is a super chunky Chanel style yarn because they're so fluffy. The gauge is literally smaller. So usually when you do a gauge swatch, if you do a 4x4, there's going to be less than 4 stitches. So my Winky jacket was the first one that it was 4 stitches per 4 inches and 4 rows per 4 inches. So each stitch was a full inch in size. The Power Puff jacket, the stitches are bigger than an inch. So within a 4x4 square, you can fit about 3, I think it's 3 to 3.5 stitches and about 3 rows. So super, super big stitches. And if you haven't seen the Power Puff, I've got it right here. This is the one that I finished. So you can see how big these stitches are. So like there's one single crochet stitch right there. So huge, huge stitches, which made the sizing incredibly difficult because you add 1 stitch and you add a full inch. But like I said, my testers have been amazing already, and getting to see those jackets coming in is really, really exciting. So I decided to start working on, and I show you this, the Luxe Jumbo. This says it's a size 7, but it recommends a 19 millimeter hook. And so I think if you're looking for Power Puff jacket yarn, you would want to look specifically for yarn that recommends a 25 millimeter hook, because that's what you're going to use for that jacket. And there are a lot of size 7 yarns that to me are closer to a size 6. So for instance, Michaels just released this limited edition yarn, this Eco Tie-Dye, and they're calling it a size 7. And there's no way. So you really have to look, and you can also kind of go by wraps per inch, but the problem is when you get up into this huge category of yarn, it's going to be like 2 wraps per inch, you know, something like that. But this one calls for, it says a 16 millimeter hook, but again, I just don't believe it. It looks to me a lot more like a size 6. But you can really play around. So like with this one, there's no way I was going to match gauge without it being a super holey jacket. So I could have doubled it up, which I wouldn't recommend because this stuff's actually pretty difficult to work with. Like it's hard on your body. It's got just enough stretch to it to actually make it kind of difficult to pull some extra yarn out with each stitch to make it easier on your body. But this is what I've got so far, and I'm going to show you guys. So this is what I'm working with. And I am making, I'm following the pattern for the Winky jacket, but because my gauge was smaller, did somebody say? Total size 6, exactly. But since my gauge was smaller, and you can do this with some of my patterns, if your gauge is off by a little bit, and you're getting more stitches per inch or per 4 inches or more rows per 4 inches, then you can add a little bit of length and a little bit of width. So you could go up maybe a size. And so that's what I did with this one. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do an entire second pattern for this jacket. And let me go ahead and show you guys what it looks like on. Let's see. When I got my new joggers from Athleta, I'm going to be sharing some pictures of those later. These have become like my wardrobe staple. I can't do without them. They make me so happy. They're super comfortable. They got the pockets, and then they've got the little stretchy piece here that goes into my boot. Just easy. Okay. So here's what I'm working with. It is fairly heavy, but I do have to say that all of these jackets that I'm making, they're going to feel heavy when you pick them up, but when you put them on, you're not going to feel that weight. So my Power Puff jacket weighs over 4 pounds, but I don't feel that when I wear it, you know, so that weight, it wears well. So you can see this one has absolutely, it feels stretchy, but once you start crocheting it together, it doesn't have, that stretch doesn't translate into the jacket having a lot of give. The sleeves are gonna be weird because until I have the full sleeve and a cuff at the end, they're gonna stick out. I did 18 stitches around the sleeve. I did try to just do 16, which is what I ended up doing with the Power Puff, but it didn't fit right. So you kind of have to gauge what you need for that. I will be adding the collar, and then I may do an extra bottom border here. I may do 2 rows to my border because this is more of like an extra small for me. This would be like the extra small size versus I usually make the extra small / small. So this one's a little small for my taste, but I also didn't have a ton of this yarn because you only get 21 yards. So I waited until I got this stuff on sale. It was almost 50% off when I got it. So it was worth it because I wanted to try it. I haven't seen colors this vibrant in a long time. So I really wanted to try it because if anything, even if I come back and say I don't really recommend someone using this for, you know, making a wing, well, I wouldn't recommend you using it for the Power Puff anyway because you're not going to be able to match gauge perfectly. So unless you're willing to alter the pattern a little bit, then, you know, I probably wouldn't recommend it in the pattern because you're not going to match gauge with a 20, because I used a 25mm hook and it was much smaller than the Chanel. But it is really pretty, and if that's your thing, so for me, it's statement pieces. Like this would be a crazy colorful statement piece. It's going to photograph really well, you know, so for me it's a win, you know, because I can photograph it. I can still promote the Power Puff pattern with this jacket. I'll just have to say, you know, if people ask about the yarn, I'll say that it's, you know, based on the Power Puff, but I had to change it a little because this yarn is a little bit smaller and it's not as fluffy as the Power Puff yarn. If that makes sense. So that's one of the things I'm working on right now. I am using, I had to match my hook. So there's not even bright blue yarn in this. So I'm using one of our bright blue hooks. So it's like my hook matches my project, which has been really fun. I feel like, so when I was in college, I had to repeat a lot. So that was like the ADD, ADHD, whatever. For me, repetition was key. So I would take notes in class. I would go home. I would rewrite my notes. Then I would type my notes. Then I would write my typed notes onto flashcards. And then I would quiz myself and write down the answers. So like that was my process for learning in college. And when I would write my notes, when I would type my notes, I would go find cool looking fonts to type my notes. Cause it made me, I don't know, I enjoyed it more because the font looked cool, you know? So I think it's the same thing. Like I'll use fun hooks and it'll keep me inspired. So the next project that I want to show you guys, it's the same way. I actually found our newest hooks matched it perfectly. So that was kind of cool. So the next project I want to show you guys, I am using, this is also a new yarn for me. And I've been going crazy caking up yarn, by the way. If you can see, this one right here has all the little cakes, and I've got a couple other bins now that have lots of cakes in them, and it's definitely helping with the space. I'm saving more space. Let me make sure I haven't missed. Amethyst Mermaid Designs, thank you so much, said she loves the colors. They're super bright. I think it's going to be really, really fun. Like I said, it's not really, and you see how this kind of looks uneven? Like I think it's just sitting weird because this yarn just doesn't have any type of drape. So it's difficult, you know, but it's cool. I think it's really cool. Oh, UPS is here. Let's see. I'm gonna make sure I didn't miss any comments. The color Scream Pink Sheep. I agree, Stevie. That's definitely why I bought it. Let's see. Okay. Oh, my accent nail, this little guy, this one, Mickey says is called Tokyo Lights. So check me out and Tokyo Lights. Super cool. Okay, I don't think I missed any more comments. Just making sure, just making sure. Hello, hello. See a couple more people joined. Okay, so the next project. Hooked, this brand right here, sent me this yarn before we moved to use on a project. And it just got pushed off and pushed off and pushed off because I had other things happening. And because this is 90% cotton, I feel like this is one that if I make a cardigan, I'm going to release this as the weather warms up. So I just kind of had to wait till the right time to work on this project. This is the Hooked Spaghetti. There you go. And I was drawn to this brand because they use a lot of recycled textiles. So obviously, if you have looked into the fashion industry, you know there's a lot of textile waste. So I like that this company tries to work with recycled textiles to make unique prints. And I'm pretty sure that the prints are limited edition because it's based on what is available. This color spoke to me because it reminded me of like the 90s Nickelodeon cartoons. That's why I got it. You know, like the Rugrats and Real Monsters and, you know, just that vibe of that 90s cartoon look. When I got a closer look at it, I realized that it's actually Mickey and Minnie, which is crazy because I wouldn't have noticed that. You couldn't have seen it on their close-ups, but if you unravel it a little bit, you can see like a Mickey face. So it's definitely like a Mickey and Minnie kind of thing. Let's see. So this is what I'm using, and I'm actually really enjoying using it. This is easier to work with for me than like this has been. I'm using a 20 millimeter hook with this, and I will show you how this project is working up. Now, this one I'm making very similar to my Jenny cardigan. So it's going to have ribbing along the bottom, and you're going to work the sweater up from the ribbing, and it's going to fold over on itself, and you just have to sew up the shoulders. So it makes it super, super simple construction, and then you add your sleeves. So I have it laying right here, so I'll show you guys. This is where I'm at. So this is the front panel, the first front panel. This is me starting on my back panel because you work the lower panel all the way across your ribbing. Oh, here. And then you work your panels up from this body portion. So what's going to happen is this part would be around my back and this would fold over. And then I would sew up the sleeves, sew up the shoulder. So that's what I'm working on. This is how it looks worked up. So really, really fun. It's not super soft. This is 90% cotton, 10% recycled, or what does it say? Other recycled fibers. It has quite a bit of stretch to it. I have a feeling it'll probably soften as I wash this, and I feel like this is going to be easy to care for because it'll be machine. I think it says it's machine washable. Let's make sure. It says hand wash, but it's mostly cotton, so I'll probably try to wash it and see what happens and let you guys know. But I would think this would be easier for me to care for than like this. This is my Jenny that I had on earlier. Like I said, very similar construction, but very different yarn and a much smaller hook. This one, I think I called for a 15 millimeter. This one, I'm using a 20 millimeter hook. So, and this one is half double crochet. This one is going to be single crochet only. So I'm only using single crochet, which is something I've been wanting to do. I've been wanting to release some patterns that only use single crochet just to make them super, super basic. So I'm really excited about this. I think it's going to be a fun one. So plenty of stretch to it. That one I'll definitely need testers for. But these are the two that I have in the works. So that's what I'm working on right now. Yeah, it's going good. Okay, so I also wanted to share with you guys, I added something new to the shop this week. I have been having a lot of people asking me, Granger, yes, I've been saying Jenny. That cardigan is the Granger cardigan. Thank you, Jamie. I always get those two confused. They both have ribbing. So the Jenny sweater is my ribbed pullover sweater. The Granger is my ribbed cardigan. That's the difference. I always forget. So the one that I was wearing at the beginning of this video is a Granger cardigan, not a Jenny. That was my bad. Thank you for correcting me, Jamie. I really appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Oh, so I've been getting a lot of people asking me if they can get my sticker designs tattooed. And for a long time, I was just kind of like, whatever, that's fine. But I've started getting a lot of people asking me and asking how they can support me, and get my tattoo. So like, what can I pay you to get permission to get tattooed? And I started looking around and I noticed that there are a lot of artists who have like tattoo permission packs, where people can purchase, this listing like on Etsy or on the website, and that helps support the artist, and then you have their permission to get the item tattooed on your body. And there was one particular artist who I really liked the way she did it. You purchase the tattoo pack and you actually get a physical print of the design that you want to get tattooed in the mail, along with an actual letter from the artist letting the tattoo artist know, this person got my permission to have this tattooed on their body. So I thought that was really cool, because then it's not any kind of digital download. It's not just a letter that's emailed to you. It's something you get in the mail, and it makes it special and physical. And so that made me think, I have had people ask me about prints of my designs as well. So like frameable prints. So I figured 2022 is the year for new things. So I have now ordered, I only ordered a few to start out with, because I wanted to make sure that the quality was good. This is eco-friendly paper, and it's actually a small women-owned business in Atlanta that I have been wanting to order from because I want to support them. But they do art prints in Atlanta. And so I finally got the chance to order from them. Super friendly, super helpful. And these are my new prints of the hooker design. So I decided to number them. I am only going to do 100 of these. This is a 5x7. It's a pretty thick cardstock, and it's textured, so you can kind of see the texture to it, which I really like. And it's recycled paper, so that's cool. And then I'm gonna put this on the back, which says the hooker 2022 or 2020, because that's when this design was created. I'll put 1 out of 100 or whatever print number you get. And then I have my signature down at the bottom, and this will fit in any 5x7 frame, or you can just set it wherever. But these are available in the shop. I've got a few left. I had 10 to start with, so that's the 10 out of 100. I did 10 of these to start, and I just placed my order for the rest of the 100. Once these are gone, they're gone. I may do different releases in the future. So once these are gone, I may do a release of a certain number of like 8x10s, or maybe I'll use a different type of paper. Like that same company has a holographic paper that's really cool. So I was like, that might be kind of neat. But I would like to do this with all of my different designs at some point. But I wanted to start with these, see if people even like the idea. But yeah, I'm excited. And then I'm going to hold a few of these for the tattoo permission pack. So the tattoo permission pack ones will be signed, but they will not be part of the limited runs, just because I don't want to run out of those if they're specifically for the tattoo packs. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think there's 3 or 4 of these left out of the first 10 in my shop. I shared these. I do have some places that I share things first. My Discord channel is one of them for people who tested for me. They usually find out about things first. And then my Facebook group. I do tend to share things in my Facebook group sometimes before I share them here on Instagram. So if you're on Facebook and you want to join, that's for anyone. It's just a nice, smaller kind of space for me to share things that aren't quite so catered to Instagram. And when I say that, I mean by videos and photos on the feed. So the photos that I have of these on Etsy and that I've shared in the Facebook group, I just took them on my phone. I haven't actually photographed them with my nice camera. So once I do that, I'll probably share them on Instagram. But at this point, I probably won't share these on Instagram on my feed until I get the rest of the prints, because I don't have a ton of these left since I only released 10 to start. But very excited. I'm glad you guys like the idea and you like the artwork, but it's really cool seeing it printed out. It's really cool getting to sign them and number them. You know, I think some of that is the imposter syndrome. If you guys have heard that, kind of feeling like you don't want to call yourself an artist, or you don't want to call yourself a maker, or you don't want to call yourself a designer because you don't feel like you're at that level to be able to give yourself that title. And it made me feel like it's art, you know, like seeing it printed out on paper. It's a cool feeling, and that people want to purchase them. So, very cool. Jamie says she wants the hook design too, and I'll put them in matching frames. Yes, the hooked one will definitely be the next one that I purchase. So, once I kind of see how these do, I'll probably order maybe smaller runs of those. So I may do 50 5x7s of the hooked design instead of 100, because the hooker, I mean, this one is my best-selling design. It was my first design. It still sells the most items. And so I did 100 because I don't want people to feel like they missed out. I always hate that feeling of people who, you know, maybe they only release 10 or 20 of something and they sell out in like 2 seconds. I wanted to make sure that I ordered enough of these to where anyone who really wanted them, I think 100 is enough for people who really want one to have the opportunity to get one. And then for the rest of the designs, I may just do runs of 50. I think that would work. Thanks, Nancy. Nancy says you're doing great things. Thanks. I'm glad you guys think so. It's difficult sometimes, especially when you try new things and you don't know how people are going to respond, or if they're even going to be interested. Sometimes I think we do things for ourselves, and then we have to make sure that that fits within the business as well. Exactly. Jamie says she has so many items with this print. That's why I did 100, because I was reading about art prints, and 100 is kind of the max before people start feeling like it's not special anymore. I think most artists do anywhere between 20 and 100 of their prints of their original pieces. So I felt like that was a good number. Make sure I haven't missed anything as I'm just chatting away. Chaos and Whimsy says, I love that. What a great design. I love that they're signed. I'm glad you think so. And that was really difficult. I ruined like 3 of them trying to figure out how to number and sign them. Because my signature is huge. If you look at the back of these, that's my signature. That's my regular signature. And it's very large and loopy. And so trying to fit it down in this corner was extremely difficult. And, you know, I think I'll get better at it, but that was a little difficult for me to figure out. And yes, I saw Jamie is getting number 1. She requested the very first print. So yes. Okay. What else was, I have to open my yarn. Okay. I think that's the last thing. And if you guys saw my post yesterday was my husband's birthday. That is my husband, the captain, Captain Hook. So he went fishing yesterday with his dad, which is great. It's the first time he has gone fishing since we moved over here and didn't have a lake in our backyard anymore for him to go fishing whenever he wanted. And we do miss the lake, but this is just such a great place for us to be. It was the right move for us at the right time. So even though I know he misses having the lake and having his boat, I think he's still very happy being here for very different reasons. You know, it's a very different space here. And he's going to have an amazing garden in the backyard. I can't wait to share that with you guys as we actually start getting things planted. You'll probably start seeing a lot of pictures out there once we start getting things planted. When I model all of my stuff, I'll probably do that in the garden. So we're getting excited. Nancy says, happy birthday, Captain. Mine was the 9th. Happy birthday, Nancy! So yeah. Today we're having his parents over and his sister and her husband over for a small lunch, dinner, not lunch, because now is lunchtime. So I'm actually cooking barbecue pulled pork in the slow cooker right now, and I have to make a double batch, so I have one going right now, and then once it's finished, it takes about 3 hours, which is actually amazing if you guys like pulled pork. If you have one of those Instapots, you can make pulled pork in like 3 hours. It's pretty amazing. So I'm making that, and then once that one's over, I'm going to do another one, because you buy like one of those boneless pork shoulders, and you cut it up and you put it in there with like all the sauce and apple cider vinegar and stuff, and then so this one was Memphis barbecue. So it was a Memphis barbecue sauce that I used to cook it. And then the next one is going to be a sweet heat barbecue sauce. So we'll have 2 different types of pulled pork, and it's going to be really good. I'm excited. And I'm going to do baked mac and cheese as the side, because that's one of his favorites. So yeah, that should be good. Okay, time for me to open up yarn and start talking about food. So I'm going to just get hungry. And I'm going to put this over here. This is not ready to just be worn around yet. And it's hot. I mean, those are definitely warm. All of those are super warm jackets. I'm going to put my Granger back on. Now that I'm calling it the right thing. The Granger, not the Jenny. Okay. Time to get into this yarn. Okay. So, this yarn is from Michaels, and it is for my next Power Puff and my next Winky jacket. So I'm excited about it. All right, and this is upside down. Oh! And it is how many pounds? I love seeing how many pounds of yarn I buy. 14 pounds of yarn. No big deal. Okay. Oh, I can already see the colors in here. Yes, big box. I don't think I can fit into this one. I think my record big box was the one that I took pictures in from Lion Brand. That was probably the biggest yarn box I ever bought or ever got delivered. Oh yeah, this is going to be awesome. Okay. Oh, of course I didn't open it all the way up. All right. Oh, and I don't think I ever showed you guys. So I was telling you how I was picking the matching hooks. So look how beautiful that is together. How could you not be inspired when your hook matches your project? It makes me really happy, like happier than I should be. Okay. Yeah, this is exciting. All right. So I got my contents. It does not look like it's everything on the list, but we shall see. But it looks like everything in here. It just doesn't look like they listed it all. Okay, so I chose to try Loops and Threads Chubby Chanel. This is considered a jumbo, but this is where it's interesting because this says that it recommends a it does say that it recommends a 25mm hook. Okay. But then it says that the pattern that it came with, which is this little pillow, so I guess the pattern, maybe it's on the inside. Let's see. I don't want to open that yet. But it does say limited time only, pattern included. So I'm guessing the pattern's on the other side of this. But the pattern says it calls for a 12mm hook, not a 25. So I'm very interested to see let me go get the yarn that I used for my first one. And let's do a comparison. Okay, let's see. Here's a little cake of leftover. Oh yeah, I think these are close. So this is what I used for my first Power Puff jacket. This is the Mainstays Chunky Chanel from Walmart. So this is the Walmart brand. And this is what I purchased from Michaels. And I'm just going to compare the strands. Oh yeah. I mean, those are almost identical, which is what I wanted. I was really hoping, because I'm trying to find some good recommended yarns to include once I release this pattern. So if you know you're going to want to make a Power Puff jacket, this is great. This chubby Chanel from Michaels. This was buy one, get one 50% off when I purchased it. I try not to buy yarn when it's full price because you can usually find a sale if you just wait a little while. So this is the first one. I got all different colors. So I got the light blue. I got mint green. And it's very soft. And I got, this one is called, what are they called? Just yellow. But it's like sunshine yellow. Sunshine. Chubby Chanel. I should have 10 of these in here. So this is called mint. The other one was called green. So they're similar, but they're all super bright. I went with the bright colors. So there's these two. I'm gonna have to like put these on the floor. There's not enough space for them. This is their darker blue, almost like a purpley kind of blue. So I got the light blue too. Let's see. I got this lilac purple and this purple lavender. So, oh, it says mauve. Mauve? Mauve? How do you say that? Mauve. So those two. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we've got number 8 is this really pretty turquoise color. Number 9 is pink. And number 10 is coral. So this is all for my, and it looks like a lot, but I mean, I think I did the calculations right. Let's see how many. Yeah, it's 32 yards and I got 10 of them. So that's 320 yards. And I think I needed 270 yards for my Power Puff. So more than enough. Okay, so the next thing that's down in this box, because that's not it. That's not everything. But that's my colorful Power Puff that I'll be making next. And I might do that one as a crochet along. I've decided that once I make my final pattern, that I'm going to probably make a second one using a different type of yarn to kind of help give people options, because I feel like it's really easy for people to see the yarn that I use and feel like they have to use that yarn. And so, for instance, my Winky jacket, which is this one, that I used 2 strands of burnout blanket yarn, I made a second one using Woolly's Thick and Quick doubled up so that you could see the difference of what that looked like. So I want to start doing that. I want to use one yarn for the pattern, use a different yarn to make a second one. And that's a perfect opportunity for me to be able to do it as a crochet along, you know, for anyone who needs a little bit extra help following the pattern, and to see some different yarns in action. So excited about that. Okay, so this next one, I got this next one for 2 reasons. One of them is for a different design that I want to do, like a longer cardigan. Oh, and that is going to be this Eco tie-dye. So I showed you some of this. I'd already bought some of this, but I wanted to buy some for a different reason, because I think I'm going to turn my rainbow Eco, and I'll show you some more of that. There's a bunch of colors with this yarn. So this is one of the rainbow looking ones. This is another one that's a little more rainbow-esque. It's got a lot of different colors. So I got four or five different colors like this that are rainbow. They're not heavily like pink or heavily purple. They have lots of different colors. These are for, I think I'm going to do a separate pattern with these. I think I'm going to do a longer cardigan with pockets attached to the outside and maybe like a tie around the waist. I think that's what I'm going to do with these. Oh, here's another one that's kind of rainbow. So all of these type are going to be used for a new pattern, I believe. I think my second or third Winky jacket, I have to remember if this is what I did, but I bought these to make another Winky jacket with holding two of these together to make one of these. And this is maybe what I'll use for the crochet along. I haven't decided yet. But I got this one that's pink with more of a white color. This one that's more of all pink. It's just pink ombre. So those are two different ones. And then I got this one, which is pink and purple. So that these will be paired as like a pink and purple jacket. And then I also, this is going to be paired in with it too, because I liked that it was also pink, but it's pink and teal. So I plan on putting all of these together. Oh goodness, I can't hold all of these. Okay, let's just do this. Like these will all go together into one jacket. We'll see how it goes. But I think these are what I wanted to make my Winky out of. My third Winky jacket is going to be made out of these because I have to hold two together. So I'll be able to like combine these two. And then like when I get rid of this one, I can combine this one in. And then when I get rid of this one, I can combine this one in so that it'll be like a really good variegated type of style, but the pinks will always be throughout. It'll just have like a purple here or a teal here or something like that. I think that's all of them. These are all the same color. I just got enough. Here's another of the super brights. And this is a limited time only. So if you like all of my crazy, ridiculous, bright colors, you should grab some of this because, like I said, it says it's a 7. I'm going to use it as a 6 because wraps per inch wise, I have a feeling this is going to be a lot like Lion Brand's Woolies Thick and Quick in the sizing. But grab you some. It's great. Wait for a sale. I know they put their yarn either 25% off or they'll do, you can get a coupon for regular price purchases, or they'll do like buy one, get one 50% off. That's what I waited for these. And make sure you sign up for their rewards. They just sent me a $30 voucher. So that's what I use to help pay for this. So make sure you're signed up for their rewards so that if you buy stuff from them, they'll send you, vouchers. They sent me another $10 voucher after I bought these using the $30 voucher. So I think they want me to spend money with them. But yeah, the rest of these, it's all more of the pinks and purples and, I said purple. Ooh. Yeah, so I have plenty of yarn to play with. And I have other yarn that I haven't used. I bought a bunch of yarn at Hobby Lobby. I'm finally to the point now where I'm like, okay, it's time to stop buying yarn and start making some projects because, yeah, I'm not going to have space for all of this yarn. But the caking has helped. Like I said, the turning a lot of my extra stuff. Like I'll actually show you guys. It's super cute. Let's see. So this little guy, I think I've talked about that before. I love using old bed sheet stuff, but these are like little scrappy cakes that are left over. And the same thing in here. These are like teeny tiny ones. This is a mix of scrap cakes, bob and wound stuff, and then like really tiny scraps are in the Ziploc bags and down here. So, but you can see the little cakes up the side. So that's been really fun, and this was also bed sheets. So if you keep your bed sheet stuff, it's really nice to have somewhere to put all of that. But then that all goes in a Tupperware. So, but I still have quite a bit to go through, but it is really, really helping me kind of downsize, get everything together. And I've decided, so talking about scrap yarn, I sell my Learn to Crochet kits. And with the Learn to Crochet kits, I use about 4 things of tissue paper that are all super brightly colored. And I wrap the ball of yarn that's going in the crochet kit in tissue paper. And then I decided I wanted to start tying a little bow with yarn around the ball of yarn. And so I've started using really small. So like if this is what the cake looks like, because that's all that's left, there's not really even enough to make a cake. This is the yarn that I'm using to double strand. So let's see if I've got one. So I do about this much yarn and I double strand it, and then I wrap it around my yarn ball and make a bow. So it really adds to the colorfulness of the package when I send out the Learn to Crochet kits. And it uses up my scrap yarn because there's really not enough of that, especially when it's yarn that I don't think I'm going to use anymore. So I don't really use, like, this is Hometown USA, which I don't use a lot for my patterns because it doesn't age super well. I would rather use Woolly Stick and Quick than the acrylic version. And then I also like to use yarn that has been discontinued. So I know I'm not going to find it anymore. It's probably not going to mix super well with anything else. This is a London K brand, I think cotton, that I had gotten a while back, and I didn't have a whole lot of it left. So I'm using it as scrap to wrap up hooks and wrap up yarn and ship them out. So that's always my favorite way to use up scrap yarn. But we're getting there. Like I said, this was a little caked up of what was left of my Powerpuff Jacket stuff. And I have at least 2 or 3 of my little bins back here that just have cakes stacked in them now. And it really does save a lot of space. So it's just having the time to sit there and cake everything up, you know. So, okay, I need to put all this yarn back in this box until I figure out what the heck I'm going to do with it, because I definitely don't have a home for it yet. Oh, let's see what time it is, because I am going to have to go. Oh, I've got 10 minutes left. Let me know what you guys are doing this weekend. Let me know what's on your hooks. I am definitely going to be sharing my progress on the 2 pieces that I just shared with you. Also, next Friday, I'm going to be going live for another Pink Sheep and Friends. So if you watched the last one, the last Pink Sheep and Friends that I did was with Jody from Lambent Crochet, which was fantastic. I had a great time with that interview. I really enjoyed chatting with her. I'll probably see if we can chat again because it's just nice. It's nice when the conversation is easy. And I enjoyed chatting with her. So next Friday, I'm going to be going live with SJ of the Wool Flower Co. I think it's Wool Flower Co., not the. If anyone in the comments knows, let me know. But SJ is fabulous. I've chatted with her before, not on a live, just personally chatted with her. And so she's going to come on Friday. So I'm super excited to get to chat with her and do another Pink Sheep and Friends interview. So if you have questions for her, I'll definitely do a question box leading up to that live. If you have questions for her or anything particular that you want us to talk about. But I think that'll be a really fun interview. So that's going to be next Friday. And then I think, because I have one more live on YouTube on Tuesday, not 100% sure. I think my Tuesday YouTube, I think I'm going to talk a little bit about printing companies. So for people who are interested in selling things like stickers or merchandise, even if it's just stuff with your logo, I kind of wanted to talk about the differences between companies like Bonfire that I use. I use Bonfire, I use Printful, I use Sticker Mule, and some of these different printing companies and what the pros and cons have been. So if you're interested at all in selling that kind of merchandise and not having to hold a lot of inventory and you want someone who can print on demand, you can tune into that live on Tuesday, and I'll chat a little bit about that. And if you have questions, you can bring them. There are a couple of other printing companies that I can talk about, like Printed Mint is another one that you can use. And there's a bunch of sticker companies. I've only used 2, but I've heard good things about other ones, so I'll talk about those as well. But yeah, if you have questions about printing things on demand and having like that additional stream of income outside of just crochet designs, we can talk a little bit about that. Because there are definitely some pros and cons, and I actually use multiple printing companies based on the pros and cons. So I use certain printing companies for certain things, other printing companies for other things, and then sometimes I'll mix and match and use them both, you know, at the same time. So, but it's just figuring out what's easiest for you. Mickey says, I'll be adding the bottom border to my Luna cardigan. And if you guys have not seen Mickey's Luna, it is gorgeous. So go check it out. The colors are very pretty. And I love seeing you guys' finished creations. It makes me really happy, and seeing how you guys play with color and pick colors that maybe I wouldn't pick. It's really cool. So after the YouTube live Tuesday, and then the interview with SJ on Friday of next week, the following week, I think I'm going to start my next crochet along. So if you guys want to follow along, I'll go ahead and let you guys know. It'll be the Winky jacket. That's my goal, because I need to make another one anyway, for my grandmother. My grandmother really wants one. So I need to make that, and so I'm going to turn that into a crochet along. So if you want to join in, you can purchase the pattern in my Etsy shop, and see, and actually you don't have to purchase the pattern to follow along, because I will walk you through step by step, and I'll hold the pattern up so you can pause the videos, you know, read all of the information. So if you don't want to purchase the pattern, you can go into my Etsy shop and you can check the description to see how much yardage you're going to need for your size of the jacket. And you can see the gauge, so you can go ahead and check your yarn to make sure that it matches gauge. You can purchase your yarn. I used blanket yarn, and I think I'm going to use blanket yarn for the next one, because you hold it double. So the yardage listed in the Etsy shop is how much you'll need if you're holding it double, like the pattern says to. If you decide to try a different yarn, like a larger yarn, so if you decided to try to make a Winky jacket using a jumbo size yarn, you can check the gauge and you would just cut that yardage in half. But I think that, like I said, we'll be starting that hopefully on Tuesday of the week of not next week, but the next week. So the week after next, I plan on starting the next crochet along for the Winky jacket. I like to post updates and stuff in my Facebook group. So like I said, if you're not in the Facebook group, you can join that anytime. You can just go to Facebook and search in the groups for Pink Sheep Design, and you can join my group. But a lot of people followed along in there and posted their progress from the Luna crochet along. So I think it's going to be really fun. I really enjoyed it. It also proved that you can make a Luna in 5 hours. You can make a Luna cardigan in 5 hours, because 6 hours. I think I did 6 episodes that were an hour long, and I crocheted live. So there was no stopping and starting and like, I'll see you next week and I'm going to finish this, you know, when we get to the next video. I'll have done this while I wasn't on the live. You know, I did all of my crocheting during the live videos. So it means you can crochet a Luna in 6 hours and probably less, because I was talking the whole time. So I think that that aspect of the live is really fun, because you really do get to see how long it takes for me to make one, and you truly can crochet along with me. Or, you know, if you need to catch up at a different time, you can watch them later. The Luna crochet along has its own playlist now on my YouTube channel. So if you missed that and you want to create a Luna cardigan along with me, you can watch that entire playlist on my YouTube channel. And all of that information is in the description of those videos for what you would need. And it also has a link to my Etsy shop if you want to get the pattern to follow along. But get yourself ready. If you want to join in on the Winky crochet along the week after next, you can go ahead and get all of your stuff ready. and we can crochet a Winky jacket together, which I think will be super fun. All right, guys, it's time for me to go finish making barbecue and make some mac and cheese and put walnuts on brownies. So I will see you guys on Tuesday. Make sure Hooked Hun says, I would love to join in the next crochet along. Just watched the first Luna video last night. Woohoo! Yes. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed that crochet along, because I think that's going to become a big thing. I think we're going to do a lot more of those because it's fun for me and it gives me something to focus on during each video, and I don't feel like I'm just rambling about random stuff. And I also don't feel like I have to buy new yarn just to show new yarn on my videos. So I think that'll be really fun. And I will see you guys on Tuesday on my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'm definitely trying to grow my channel over on YouTube. And once I kind of get my groove with these projects finished, I want to do some smaller tutorials and continue offering some great content over there on YouTube. So I will be live on YouTube on Tuesday. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I will see you guys then. Happy hooking!